Petitions before the court are unique in some way. Either of the candidates who came second and third in the presidential election wants the court to declare them winner of the election or cancel it altogether. In his petition, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, who came second in the presidential election, wants the court to declare him the winner. He alleges that Bola Tinubu, who won the election, was not qualified to have contested in the first place, as he was allegedly convicted for a drug-related offense in the United States in the past. The petition is similar to that of Peter Obi, the candidate of the Labour Party, who came third in the presidential election. He wants the courts to either declare him winner of the presidential poll held in February or order a fresh election to be held without the APC candidate, alleging that Tinubu was not qualified to have taken part in the polls in the first place. Obi, like Atiku Abubakar, is also citing the alleged conviction of Tinubu in the United States as grounds for his petition. Obi is also arguing that the electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, breached its own guidelines in the conduct of the election. Two other smaller political parties, the Action Alliance and the Allied People's Movement, have also filed separate petitions demanding that the 25th February election be declared void.
The court will follow all the stages of the process and proceeding in order to arrive at justice in this particular matter. They have just filed, and the Electoral Act has given grounds for you to succeed. One is for you to show the evidence of the fact that the man who has been declared the winner was not fit or was not qualified in the first place, or that he was declared winner not in compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act, or that he did not meet up with the number of votes that should have actually made the INEC or the umpire to declare him the winner.
Whatever happens at the appeal court could be subject to further appeals at the Supreme Court, and it's very likely that regardless of the eventual verdict of the appeal court, the Supreme Court may have the final say on all the petitions. In all, though, the appeal court has 180 days within which to hear the petitions and deliver judgments on them, and for the Supreme Court, it's 60 days.
The focus of the petition that we have seen so far from one of the candidates, the third candidate, it does not actually say in material way that he won the election. It basically says that the person that won the election is not qualified, and as a result, certain steps should be taken so that they can either be given the elections or they compete for the elections without that person participating. What is interesting is that it makes no note of the second person who is supposedly ahead of them in the election count. So it's a very interesting filing.
Abubakar and Obi came second and third respectively in the election, with Abubakar polling 29.07% of the total votes, while Obi polled 25.40%. Tinubu was declared winner of the presidential election with 36.61% of the total votes, getting at least 25% of the votes in more than two-thirds of the country's 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, which is one of the requirements to win the presidential election. Tinubu is due to be sworn in as president on May the 29th. It's highly unlikely the courts would have dispensed with the petitions challenging his election before the swearing-in ceremony. DG Bademasi, CGTN, Lagos, Nigeria.